Hey guys, happy Sunday. Just wanted to quickly wish you guys a very happy Easter. Hope everyone's having a lot of fun at home with family and loved ones. And this is a pre-recorded message because I am away today and I didn't want to break our strike of painting every Sunday. So here's a pre-recorded video. And I'm very, very excited for this video because I love the results from it. And I hope that you guys will also enjoy it. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing because these are the kind of watercolor floral videos that I put out on the regular. So if you like this, you should definitely hit that bell so you get notified when new videos come out. And lastly, I want to remind you guys to follow me on Instagram and Facebook and tag me in your work so I can reshare the stunning work that you guys create. I love getting messages and pictures from you guys. It's so encouraging to me. I'm so grateful and amazed every time someone reaches out and says, the video clicked. This is my work. I'm so proud of it. I love it. Your videos really helped me with something that I was struggling with. And it always amazes me because I always think to myself, I didn't put a lot of thought into it. That came really easy to me, and yet it kind of made someone else's day so much brighter, or maybe even bumped up someone's skill even higher because they got it. So I love when I hear from you guys. So please don't stop. Never think that something's been repeated too much, because I love this quote that says, people need to be reminded more often than instructed. And so hopefully that's what my videos do for you guys as well, which is, and okay, the videos clearly do it for you guys, but your words mean just as much to me. So thanks guys for all your support, and don't forget, I am still trying to reach 20K before May 30th. So if you can help me with that subscription on YouTube, that would be amazing. Thanks guys. Have a lovely, lovely painting session. Let me know what you guys think. Today's video, we are going to keep it nice and bright and springy with our florals. I have my ETCHR sketchbook ready. I have my colors ready. I'm going to tell you what colors I'm using. These are St. Petersburg White Nights. This is the Titan Red. This is Carmen. This is the cadmium medium lemon. This is the cadmium red light. This right here is the Russian blue, my raw umber, and this is my green. So that's what I'm using. I have my shell palette ready by Lisi Arts on Instagram for people who've been asking about it. For brushes, I am going to be using my Silver Black Velvet in the 12, yes. And I will definitely be using my number 4 Silver Black Velvet, and then also my mop brush in the Da Vinci number 1. I have my water ready. I have my paper towel ready, and oh, this was just stuck in there. And we are ready to begin. All right, so what I have done is I have done a very quick rough outline of an egg, and we are going to paint florals in this egg. So hope you guys are excited. Let's begin. I know I said I'm going to be using the number 12. This is going to be a massively huge brush to create florals in. It might be a little bit challenging depending on how large a surface you're painting on. So if you want to forfeit this for maybe just leaving the number 1 Da Vinci, absolutely just do that. I'm going to keep the number 12 on the side just to see how that works out for me, and we'll go by that. All right, so we are ready to begin. I am going to start off by mixing some of the colors. So again, I didn't mention that I would be using this, but I'm going to bring in the number 8 Black Velvet as well, just to have it as an extra in case. So I'm going to start off by doing some of the Titan Red. So I'm just going to get some color and mix it on here. We're going to get some really nice, pretty florals happening. Then I'm going to get some of the red cadmium red light. I'm going to mix some of that over here. They're very similar in color, so you might end up using them, you might not. I'm going to wash off some of the paint from here, get some of my carmen, and I'm just mixing a whole bunch on here. Then, oh, actually, before I washed away the carmen, I want to mix some of the carmen with the blue, with our Russian blue, to give us like a nice purple, because this is what we need. Purple is such an Easter color, so we have to have it. I'm just going to mix some over here if we need some lighter purple with a little bit more of that cadmium, so we get another variation. And pushing down all the color here, and we are ready. So first things first, we want to cover this whole surface, and so I'm going to start off by doing my florals first. So let's start off by doing a couple of florals off to the side before we kind of venture into the center and tackle that area. So we're starting off with our main big florals first. So we're going to start with the cadmium, no, with the Titan red that I had mixed up. And I'm just going to get some color from here, and we're going to start a floral right off to the side over here. All right, so this one can be kind of facing upward, so we're just going to press down and add a couple of strokes to the side here. And then I'm going to get a little bit of the other Titan red that we did, and pressing down again, pushing all the way down, leaving white space in between. Then I'm going to get a little bit more of the Titan red, but I'm getting some from this color here, and I'm just going to add a couple of strokes down here to the bottom of it, just so it kind of seeps in nicely and gives us that nice blend happening. And then finally I want to do another stroke right here to kind of close up this floral. And I'm just adding, you can see I'm adding some loose strokes at the end here, just to kind of keep it very loose and light looking. And then again, I'm getting some of the cadmium red light, and I'm going to blend it right at the bottom here, so we get that nice bright look to it. And then I'm just going to add a couple of strokes within these petals that we've done, just to kind of have it dry off with that nice look, blending in with that light color. So now I'm getting the light color that we have at the top, and we're going to create our little light background kind of petals. And I'm just kind of pressing down, leaving white space, and kind of just leaving it very loose looking, and then dipping the tip of my brush in water. I'm just going to get some lighter looking blends happening at the top, and then I'm leaving it this way. All right, now that we have that, I'm going to go back into the cadmium color, and I got some of that on the tip, and I'm just going to add a little bit of strokes just in the center here. And I want this to kind of look like it's like a nice deep color in the center. I'm just adding a couple of strokes into the upper area as well, so it kind of can seep in and give us that impression of blending happening. So that's a very pretty look. I like that. I'm gonna get a little bit more of the color and just add it down to the center here, because once this dries, it's gonna dry a lot lighter than it looks. So I'm just adding a couple more. There we go, and we're done with this. So we don't want to do any more. We're done with this floral. Now we can kind of add some, no, let's do another floral. Let's do the same color since we have it, and I don't like wasting color. So we'll make this a lot smaller in size, and I'm gonna make it up to the top over here. And this one we can have it like facing front, top aerial view of this. So at this point I'm just using a combination of all the orangey colors that I have, and I'm just trying to create a very loose looking 5-petal floral this way here. Perfect. That's all I'm going to do, and I'm pushing all the color down to the bottom. And once that is done, I'm going back to my red, cadmium red light, and I'm going to add this in the center, or just at the tips of where our petals are ending. And then maybe like a petal, a stroke or here, stroke here or there to just kind of have that nice blend. But definitely making sure that a lot of the dark colors concentrated right there. All right, so that's done. We've got 2 of those colors. That's perfect. I think now we can kind of move on to the pinky color that we have, which is the carmen. So for the carmen, I'm going to get some color. Actually, let's switch out our brushes, shall we? So I'm going to use the Vinci mop number 1 for this, and we're going to try and do some tulips. So I'm going to get some of that pinky carmen that we have using my mop, and we are going to do some pretty tulips. So let's do some that are kind of over here on this end. So I'm just pressing down and kind of giving it that cup shape, and then another stroke, and then ending off there, pushing all the color downward. And then I'm going to just take my number 4 and getting some of the carmen directly from here. I'm going to add a stroke right here and adding darker color. I need a little bit more water over here, so I'm just getting some water. Adding a couple of strokes here so that we get a nice blend of color happening. There we go. I love how that looks. So we've got 1 tulip. If you want to kind of make this blend a little bit more, absolutely go ahead and do that. While I have this happening, I'm actually going to mix a little bit of that green on here, and I'm going to get some of the lemon that we have, because I want to get like this nice lighter green, and mixing it on here. And while I have this damp, I'm just going to add like these enveloping green strokes around this, just to kind of take advantage of the fact that it's damp. So I'm going to keep this aside for now. We'll make that our green brush. Now I'm going to continue using this to create some more tulipy looking florals. Let's do one happening over on this end, and this one can be this way. And you see how I put a little bit of orange in there, and again 2 strokes, and kind of leaving open-ended strokes at the end very loosely, leaving white space in between. This one's a slightly more open tulip, and I'm gonna take the number 8 and get a little more of that orange, maybe add some just at the top, and I love that look compared to that. Maybe I'll get like a darker orange. Let's just see how that looks, just like that. Just add some hues that way. If you don't like that look, absolutely, like, don't do it. But I like it. I'm gonna get some of that green and just cover that up. Not cover it up, but like envelop this area, giving us that nice, getting some darker green to just add to the bottom there, so that we have that nice 2-tone kind of effect. Perfect. So we've got 2 tulips. I think we can do one more. Why not? This one, getting more of that carmen, mixing it on here. Let's do this tulip kind of 1, 2. Let's do it over on this end here, coming downward maybe, right? So 1, 2, and you can see this is so much darker than the other tulips. I'm going to try and push all the color down, and I got less white space on this one too, but that's okay because this is the kind of style that we're painting in, guys. And I'm just doing a slight kind of curve at the top to kind of indicate a center that you can see. And then I'm going back in, getting some of my green. And then I'm going to highlight this area here, or envelop the bottom of that area like I did previously with the other two. And then just getting some of the darker green, I'm just going to dab a little bit on here. All right, perfect. I like how that looks. And now we can do a couple more florals, like a bigger bloom happening over there on the inside. So let's get ready to get our number 12 for those who are feeling adventurous. And hopefully I don't mess this up. So we've got some nice pinks happening. Actually, before we move on to that, what I want to do is just get a little bit of this color and just add it in here. While this is nice and damp, like the ETCHR paper is nice for things like this because it's damp. You can kind of add in that stroke and it gives you a nice blend. So I'm really liking it for that. All right, so back to this. We're gonna go ahead, get this number 12, and I am going to use the purple that I did to create some florals. So the purple is right here off to the side. And this brush holds a lot of water, guys, so you just got to be careful. So the kind of floral I'm going to do is going to be very much like a rose. So we're going to start off by doing our little center. And then I'm just going to kind of go into creating like that little inner bowl area for it, which is just like this. You can see my white space. Leave a lot of white space, guys. And then I'm going to create additional petals while leaving a lot of white space just around. And now just dipping the tip in water, I'm just going to get larger strokes happening here. And again, making sure you're leaving tons of white space. Now I'm washing off most of the color, and with just water on this brush, I'm just kind of smoothing out the edges so that they can touch the next floral beside it, but I don't want it to be overpowering. I want it to be like a nice soft blend. And this is perfect. That's what I want. So now I'm going to go in with the number 4. And I'm going to get some of the darker hue with this purple. And a little more concentrated in terms of color consistency. So mixing that off to the side here. And I'm just going to add this to the center. Maybe even getting that carmen directly from there and just adding it in while this area is damp. And just highlighting these areas. And giving it that nice, soft, pretty look. So you see that like dark to light effect happening. Love it. So I'm going to get some of the purple color that we have off to the side here using this. I'm just going to add a couple of strokes because it's still like damp, so maybe it'll give us like a nice effect if we got like a couple of different kinds of purples happening, and just like some very faint strokes on the outer edge. This one's a little bit too hard edge, so I'm just dampening it. Perfect, and that's what I want. I'm going to leave it at that. And just because this is like the one-off purple, I don't want to make it seem too out of the blue, so we're going to do another kind of let's do like a bud, like a rose bud happening. So we can do that one over here on this end. So again, the same way, I'm just doing like a very rough kind of circle and then just like loosely adding strokes around and going back, getting some more of that color. And I'm just like lightly creating the shape for this floral. Now we don't want to go outside the egg, so I'm leaving that where it is. Going back with my mop brush and with just water on it, I'm just going to smoothen these edges. Perfect. And now I'm going to go in with my number 4, get some of the darker colors that we've mixed, and I'm just adding, so make sure you don't have too much water on there, otherwise that can, oops, too blue, otherwise it can pool and not look as amazing. This might end up looking a little too purpley compared to the other one, just because I added a little bit of blue before by mistake. But that's okay. Variety is the spice of life, and sometimes mistakes happen, and sometimes they turn out good, sometimes they don't. It's okay. So I like how this is happening. I just wanted it to be a little more purpley in the red family as opposed to the blue family, so I'm just kind of fluffing it around with some of the reds without taking away too much of the white space that we have. Okay, so just adding some more red to that mix, and I'm going to add a couple of strokes around here while this area is damp. So if you've got some like really good watercolor paper, you should be able to get that effect by just letting it dry a little bit and then going in and adding those strokes. I'm just going to add some of those strokes over here on these, on this rows as well. And I love it. I love how it's kind of giving us that very ever so faint blend, which really makes things pop a lot. I'm going to get a little bit of the carmine on the tip of my brush here and try and see if I can get some of that happening here without completely overworking. So I'm literally just very lightly doing these little strokes. And I'm going to leave that one as is. I think that's good enough. All right, so we've done this. Now I think it's time for leaves. So let's do some leaves. So let's mix some of the umber. Mixing that in here. And I'm going to mix some of the green. But I want more umber happening. So there we go. And now that we have this, we're going to use the number 4 to create some leaves. We've got some nice light colors happening already, but let's start off with this, and then we'll kind of, maybe if there's space, add some more light stuff. So for the leaves, I'm just gonna add a couple of them very lightly, just like this. 1 stroke, 2 strokes, 3 strokes if needed. I'm pushing all the color downward and then adding another one over on this end here. 1, 2, 3. Seems to be all 3 strokes at this point. Pushing all the color downward, guys, remember that. And if you want to just kind of add an additional stroke of dark green to kind of give it that fancier, more bright look, then totally just kind of add one in there. And getting a little bit of water on the tip of this brush, I'm going to add one more leaf over here. Your leaves don't have to be full and exciting. They can just be like that touch of green that you're adding on there, and it gives you that nice bright look. So I'm adding another one over here on this end. Close this kind of space up where the egg is shaped over here. I'm pushing all the color downward. I'll just add another kind of like green stroke there. Let's see, we've got some green there, we've got some green here, here. Let's add a little bit more green to our mixture, a little bit more water, and then let's add a couple of leaves here. So 1 stroke, 2 strokes, another leaf here, and then I'm just gonna add like a hint of a leaf right there. I don't like how you can't really tell that it's its own leaf, so I'm going in with a little bit of umber and adding some umber highlights or shadow lights to these here. So we have that. Let's see, what else can we do? Can we add a couple of leaves over over on this end here? Yes, let's do that. And then and then I think I'll just add one more over here on this end, and then we can move on to another color of leaves. So I'll add one here. That one's nice. I'm going to get a darker green using the tip, and just a very light kind of like fluffy, not fluffy, like a stroke leaf happening there. And let's do that same effect down here. Now, normally I like to do it this way, but because of the camera, I'm just going to do mine this way. Perfect. And that's that. Let's move on to the next kind of leaves. All right, so for this last bit, we're going to use the cadmium lemon and mix it with the remaining green that we have and get like a nice light green, kind of similar to the ones that we used in the tulip stuff. And I'm just going to leave that there. And then what I want to do is get some of the cadmium lemon and do a couple of like loose strokes indicating yellow florals. Now mine's a little bit contaminated with the green, but I'm going to go for it anyways. And if you guys are a little more picky about stuff like that, make sure you clean it off before you go ahead and do that. So I'm getting some nice watered down lemon. And I'm going to create, making sure I don't have too much water on the brush, I'm going to create a couple of strokes of this lemon looking floral right here. And all I'm doing is making it like very loose 2-stroke florals and pushing all the color downward. Let's do some over here on this end. Just kind of filling up the space, and then we can go in with our brush and green and create some nice leaves for them, or stems rather. So there's that. Let's do one just kind of peeking over here, and there's another one there. And let's do a couple happening here. And then just like one there. Maybe like a slight hint of one there. Perfect. And we are almost done. Yay. I'm loving how this is looking. So washing off all the color, I'm going to get some of the green now that we've mixed, and we are going to just connect them. And give it some direction with the stems. So like that. And I really like how this is turning out. Getting some more of that green. And we are done. Perfect. So this is the Easter egg that we have, guys, or the floral pattern in the form of an Easter egg. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Send me your work. Sorry I couldn't be there today because I am away, but I figured we have to do something for Easter, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. So send me your work over social media on Instagram and Facebook, and I will definitely be sharing it in my stories if I'm able to, and your privacy isn't on. And if you're new to my channel today, please consider subscribing. These are the kind of videos I put out on the regular every Thursdays and Saturdays, and Sundays is a live. So hope you'll join and subscribe and like the video and share it in your social media circles, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Happy Easter again. Bye.